Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. Live Music Nation podcast, Festival Edition. Today we are with Martin. He is with the Midsummer Scandinavian Festival. Martin, thanks for joining us.
No problem. My pleasure.
Martin, give us a little background on you. Where'd you grow up and talk a little bit about your professional career?
Absolutely. So I grew up in Calgary, Alberta, for most of my life. And then I went to study on the West Coast in Victoria, Vancouver Island in British Columbia on the West Coast. I spent a couple of years in Scandinavia and Sweden and Denmark, studying over there, and a bit in Toronto, and then back home, kind of what I consider home in Vancouver now for about 6 years. So a lot of Scandinavian passion. Don't actually have family from there, but I go there a lot. It's just like a second home to me in Sweden. And I've been on the kind of a side gig helping out with the Scandinavian Midsummer Festival, and I do some other things as well.
Perfect. All right, let's jump into the festival. Talk a little bit about it. Let's start with first. When does it happen?
So it happens on the weekend of June 24th to 25th this year. I forgot my dates right. 24th. Let me double check this. 24th. Oh, the 24th, 25th. That's right. So it's usually the last weekend of June. It's also the date when the Scandinavian or Midsummer Festival happens, or Midsummer holiday happens in Sweden, particularly as well, around that time. So,
all right, the three most important questions when people step on the grounds of the festival: what does it look like? What does it sound like? And what does it smell like? Meaning food.
Good question. So when you arrive to the festival, it is. It's a long running festival for one. It's about I think it's the 26th year now. It is you have different tents, so it's 5 different Nordic countries. You got Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Iceland, Finland. 5 of them basically, and it's a lot of different festivities happening. It starts off on Saturday with sort of a opening ceremony, and then sort of a walking around a pole, like a midsummer pole. They do. There's also a wife carrying contest on Sunday. So there's different events that go on, but a lot of different festivities. The smell of salmon barbecue, I would say, the waffle tent, all sorts of different festivities there.
That sounds great. That sounds great. For you, Martin, what is the importance of this event?
The importance of this event is a celebration of Scandinavian culture in Canada and even North America as a whole. North America, there were a lot of Scandinavian immigrants from Nordic countries that moved to North America to look for, and I think there's a lot of shared values, and not just in Canada, but in the United States as well. A lot of similarities. It's a northern country, so it's just celebrating the strong Nordic cultures. And it's maybe not as common as other cultures, but it's an opportunity for people to celebrate, and just a curiosity of Nordic cultures as well. And people discover the roots, but just a celebration and also an event for the community as well.
Sure. What are some of your best memories of the festival?
Yeah, so some of my best memories of the festival are probably just setting up the midsummer pole that we do. It's right after the opening ceremony is on Saturday, and this pole is sort of decorated with different greenery and flowers, and so you're lifting this huge pole, and then the whole group gathers around, and we're trying to put this huge, massive pole up together with about 10, 20 volunteers, and we're never quite sure how to do it. It takes a lot of team coordination. But once that pole is up, you have a whole crowd of people gathered around the circle, and they all walk around, and everyone cheers. So it's just this really lively celebration of summer, something that's like you really make a festival out of celebrating the sunlight.
Yeah. No,
longest day of the years.
I think 2 weeks of cloudy days, and I think everybody agrees with you there as we go.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Okay, Martin, I always ask these two questions in every interview I do. I'm in live entertainment and live music. So
yep.
First question is, what is the best concert you've ever seen your entire life?
Best concert I've ever seen, I'd say it would be Roger Walters. I actually had an uncle, the step uncle who worked for Live Nation. And he was able to, he says if there's one concert you really want to go to, so it was basically Roger Walters and Pink Floyd, and so we had to travel 3 hours to go to the concert to Edmonton, but it was well worth it because I think that's definitely one of the best concerts I've been to.
Yeah, no, for sure. Okay, dead or alive, you could bring one musical act to the Midsummer Scandinavian Festival. Who you bring in?
Dead or alive, I would say it would have to be. I would say. I mean, I would probably say Bono.
Bono, that'd be
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah, that would be pretty neat.
That'd be great. All right, Martin, new segment that we're adding this week, and we're going to put in there for good. You get to ask me one question. What question would you ask?
Get to ask you one question. Oh boy, I'm trying to think now. What of a musician that you met? What do you think was the most pleasant musician to be able to meet?
The most pleasant, if you ask my kids, they would say a guy by the name of Phil Vassar. We did a couple of shows with him, and very approachable. Was just great with my kids. They were young at the time and energetic and eager to learn about what's going on. So yeah, I would say a guy by the name of Phil Vassar. Yeah.
Okay, Phil Vassar. Interesting.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so Martin, give us a little information. How do people find out more about the Midsummer Scandinavian Festival?
Yeah, so they can go to the website, Scandinavian Midsummer Festival.org, midsummerfestival.org,
Okay.
and everything, sorry, ScandinavianMidsummerFestival.com. So really easy to know as a website, and everything is on there. It's free admission for kids under 16, and it's very minimal cost of admission, pretty good value, free parking right near the highway, and it's honestly, you can go for both days or just one of the days. It's definitely worth checking it out. It's something that they've done for 26 years, and there's always really good value with it.
Yep, that sounds great. Martin Emsley, Live Music Nation podcast. Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
You
Bye
bet.
now.
Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle